What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make daily Charlotte Hornets content. So if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Now, there's not really much to talk about this game. I mean, granted, LaMelo came back. Glad that he's back. He looked healthy to my knowledge. I mean, everything I saw, he looked healthy. It was more so he got himself in foul trouble, so that's why he didn't play as much as you would like him to. But overall, like for the Charlotte Hornets, they lost 132 to 115, and to be honest, they had the game. They were playing well until halftime, and then the Miami Heat made adjustments, and honestly, the Charlotte Hornets just couldn't keep up. I think it was like 7 minutes left in the third quarter before the Miami Heat missed a shot, or it was something crazy like that. So we're just gonna go, as usual, break down the box score. That's how I usually do these kind of videos, just because of the fact that this team, there's not really too much to look into. I'm gonna talk about some key points instead of just focusing on the box score, but I do want to go over the box score just in case you were unable to watch the game and kind of get my own interpretation of what these stats mean. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the starting five was LaMelo, Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington, and Mason Plumlee. Mason Plumlee annoyed me. I mean, there was one point where he rebounded the ball away from Theo Maledon and took the ball up court, and I don't remember him doing anything with it. But that's just like the type of stuff that Mason Plumlee does. Kelly Oubre had a good game. He shot well. That's something he has been struggling to do all season, but he is doing better now. He's averaging like 18 points a game, so you would imagine he gets traded. But at the trade deadline, there's no way I feel like the Charlotte Hornets would keep him. But he did have a good game, and I feel like that's back-to-back good Kelly Oubre games ever wasted, to be honest with you. PJ Washington did not look good at all. He really couldn't guard Jimmy. Granted, Jimmy Butler was getting every call. Anytime he would just scream, he would get the call. But overall, PJ Washington just didn't look good. He wasn't good on the offensive end. He wasn't that good on the defensive end. I wouldn't say he tricked me just yet, because I always want PJ to do well. Always want any player to do well, but specifically PJ. But he had some good games earlier in the season. He's kind of tailed off a little bit, and maybe he'll pick back up. Maybe it's just a slump. Who knows? So I'm not gonna punish him too much for it, but he definitely didn't look good in the game where we needed him to look good. I already talked about Mason Plumlee, and to be honest, there's no point in me talking about it every single night, but every single night, I just hate looking at Mason Plumlee on the floor, to be honest with you. Terry Rozier did his thing. He made up for last game where he made a lot of bad decisions. Granted, he didn't make the best decisions here. However, he looked a lot better just getting into his spots, making his shots. I don't think he took that many crazy shots. I think most of the shots he took are shots he normally makes, so I'm not mad that he missed. And so then we'll move on to LaMelo Ball, who, as always, he still takes very bad shots. I'm not even going to lie to you. As much as I love LaMelo, still takes very bad shots. First game back, he got in foul trouble very early. Granted, I think 2 of the fouls, maybe 3, were not real fouls. They were just kind of gimme fouls. And Nick Richards had a couple of those too, which was crazy. That they weren't real fouls. It was just, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, he got himself in foul trouble, and that's something he struggled with last year. He did a lot better attacking the basket, though. I will give him that. He did so much better attacking the basket. Granted, it's a small sample size, but it is against the Miami Heat, who is a team known for their defense. So the fact that LaMelo was able to penetrate the defense, and even some of those plays, Bam Adebayo was in the paint, and LaMelo was still able to score. Great to see. Typical the way he passed, he's able to rebound. His defense, he looks more engaged on defense. I'm not going to necessarily sit here and say it's better yet, but he did look more engaged outside of just trying to steal, because we all know LaMelo is really good at stealing the ball, but he looked more engaged without just going for strictly to steal. James Bouknight looked so much better. However, it didn't really matter. His minutes kind of were, scattered across. As you see, he only played 14 minutes, so that's not typical. Let me scroll up. I just not noticed I didn't scroll up. Or scroll down. But yeah, James Bouknight, his minutes were kind of scattered, so the 14 minutes wasn't even a really consecutive 14 minutes. But when he was on the court, he played well. He did as much as you could. The Heat were, the way they're moving, the way their players move without the ball, it was hard to keep up. So he did a good job with closing out on a couple of guys, but it is what it is. For his minutes, Jalen McDaniels is looking better, getting his groove back, just being more consistent, if anything. As you see, he was only -6 in 27 minutes, which isn't bad at all considering, Mason Plumlee, PJ Washington, even LaMelo Ball played around 27 minutes. So the fact that he was only -6, that's a good thing. PJ was -4, which I didn't notice, but if you looked like when you were watching, it just I don't know. The way the Heat were just able to score on him was kind of rough. And like I said, he wasn't able to provide anything on offense, and his defense isn't that good to where him providing nothing on offense is worth it. Nick Richards, he looked good. I think for Nick Richards, his biggest thing is going to be just getting, accommodated with playing with LaMelo. There were some passes that he couldn't hold on to because he wasn't expecting and things like that. But if LaMelo can get a center that is expecting those kind of passes on those pick and rolls, it's going to be a very deadly combo. And I really feel like Nick Richards can be that type of center, whether he is starting or whether he's on the bench. I don't know. I'm tired of kind of talking about roster moves because I don't know what the team's doing. But Nick Richards, I feel like once he gets used to playing with Melo, I feel as though that he really can be that pick and roll threat that LaMelo has always needed. Whether LaMelo cuts down with the center or like rolls down with the center, or LaMelo stays at the top of the key and just kicks it to Nick Richards who's cutting. I think I can see it both ways. Teo Maledon rather, 19 minutes, and that's a lot. A lot of that has to do with the fact that J.C. Thor just literally can't play any minutes. J.C. Thor looks like 2 years away from being 2 years away. To be completely honest with you, his offense is just it's not worth having him on the court. It's pretty bad. I'd rather see Kai Jones. Anyway, but Teo Maledon, he looked really good. I mean, I love watching him play. He was rebounding the ball well. As you can see, with 6 rebounds, he was getting to his spots on the court. I feel like he controlled the game well when he did have the ball. He wasn't the playmaker that he normally is, but like I said, I've said this before. When he has the ball in his hand, it's just so. I don't know, the game slows down in a way. He doesn't make too many crazy mistakes. I get it. Sometimes he does, like maybe turn the ball over or something, but it's not too often. And I just really like what I see from him anytime he has the ball in his hand. So now we're going to go into Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler did Jimmy Butler things. I mean, 20 points, but he just affected the game in so many ways. As you see, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and then just his defense. Bam was just, any center that's competent is going to do well against us. That's really how it is, and that's kind of what happened this game. Bam just went for 24. They really couldn't stop him, to be honest with you, and then for him to get 15 rebounds just isn't good as well. We got out-rebounded, 46-37, so that's not good. And then Max Strus, how do you let Max Strus get 31 points? I have no idea. Max Strus is a very talented player. I actually really like Max Strus. 31 points is a little ridiculous, though. So I don't know. And, Kyle Lowry, almost a triple-double. Like, these are the type of things that the Miami Heat do. They play literally every kind of basketball. They play all facets of basketball. So, let's just use the NFL, for example. There's offense, defense, special teams. That's literally what the Miami Heat do. They play offense, defense, special teams. They play every way in like a basketball that you can. They're able to slow it down. They're able to speed it up. They're able to, now granted, everybody was on fire here and the Hornets defense isn't good, but they were able to score. They were able to, like I said, run with the Hornets. They were able to defend the Hornets. They were able to, rebound. They were able to pass. They were just, everybody was able to do everything. And that's just what makes the Miami Heat so dangerous. You kept, them shooting 39% from 3, but that's not that good considering just how crazy Max Strus went. I feel it. I get it in a way. It's just that, hey, maybe Jimmy didn't score 30 on us. He only scored 20. He didn't have to. And that's the kind of thing that if you watch the Miami Heat, that's what they're really good at as well. If someone's giving a hot hand, they're going to let that guy just work. And then all the other guys are going to do everything else. That's what makes that team so good, is that the hot hand doesn't always have to be Kyle Lowry. The hot hand doesn't have to be Bam Adebayo. The hot hand doesn't have to be Jimmy Butler. If someone else has the hot hand, those other guys, they're going to all right, we'll play like role players, We'll defend all 5 positions. We'll make, we'll get the loose balls. We'll hype the team up when something goes our way. That's just kind of, it's just next man up, really. And no one has to be injured for that to happen. It's just the natural progression of the team. And so this is a tough team, and for the Hornets to be just as discombobulated as they are, just with people in and out the lineup, and then, like I said, LaMelo Ball coming back for his first game back, and the game was on the road, it just didn't look good. And so, really, I just want to briefly just talk about our team and just how I just don't know. I don't know what it will take for this team to be good. I've said time and time again, I want the team to tank, not because I want the team to be bad, but truly just because I don't see how this gets any better. I don't care how good PJ Washington can end up being. I don't care how good. I mean, we kind of see what Terry Rozier is. You know what I mean? I don't care. I mean, LaMelo Ball, it's just unfair to ask. I don't care how good LaMelo gets. It's unfair to ask one person to really carry a team. I mean, James Bouknight, we don't like. He's far from where you would want him to be. So it's just that I don't want to rely on him getting better to make the team better. Jalen McDaniels, he's showing improvement, but is this his ceiling? Because for him to take another step, that would be completely insane, and not another step as in like he's a 13 point per game score, but like 18 or something. That would be completely insane to be honest with you. Nick Richards, he's proved early he could be a 2010 guy, but how consistent is that? You can't rely on that. My whole thing is that with this roster, you see flashes from basically everybody on the roster. It's just they don't do it enough to make you believe that can happen all the time. And that's kind of how this team is rolling right now. They're rolling like, we see the bright spots in everybody. Sure, fine, great, dandy. I'm glad everybody is showing that they're competent NBA players. However, where does the results come in at? So you just got to find a better way. This team has been the same forever. This team has not changed much besides, rotating a lot of the bench pieces. They need to truly start building around LaMelo if they want to win. And right now, this team is not built to help out LaMelo. It's kind of just, this was a team that was kind of already there, and then they just added LaMelo to it and added, you got Nick Richards, Jalen McDaniels coming a long way, Theo Maledon, who I think is good, but still, James Bouknight hasn't been, what you would want him to be in. Plus, even if he ended up being the guy we thought he would, is he really that much of a good fit next to LaMelo? Not really. So it's just frustrating because I don't know what they want to do, to be honest. There's Gordon Hayward and Cody Martin fully healthy does not help this team become a playoff team, to be honest with you. I think that ship has sailed. Last year, if you put Steve Clifford on last year's team, playoff team. Steve Clifford with last year's team, with this team, is not a playoff team. It's just, I feel like the ship has just truly sailed. They refuse to get a competent center. I mean, I don't care if you try guys out. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's no reason to break down the games every single night when you know what the problem is. I know exactly what the problem is. We don't have a competent center. We don't have too many guys that can guard a perimeter. Two of our best guys who can guard a perimeter are both out. And both of them added, it's going to help, but not that much. Offense can look stagnant at times, even though tonight it looks so much better. I wonder why. It's LaMelo, because LaMelo's back, of course. But it's just, you got PJ Washington, who's just not consistent at all. Kelly Oubre, who doesn't shoot well, but has these big games, and he's not, I will say he's consistent. It's just he's not efficient. James Bouknight, we don't know what he's coming. He's basically our best scorer off the bench in terms of talent. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say. But anyway, that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I'm going to keep doing these videos because I feel like it, you guys do enjoy the content and whatnot. But you already know I don't have the camera on for these kind of videos just because of the fact that what's the point of putting all that together? Plus, I can get it out quicker to you when I don't have the camera on. But there's not really much to break down with this team. I have other videos I'm thinking of course, where I can talk about more than just this type of thing, like the game recaps. But right now, they're not giving me much to talk about because I would hate to just go in here and just completely talk about the roster changes that we all need to know happen all year long. So I'm trying to figure out a way to just add more content without doing just the game recaps. But it's like I said, they're not giving me much to work with. So let me know if you have any ideas down in the comment section below, and I'll continue to try to work on that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.